Namaste, Jai Bharat. With the new president coming into the United States, President Donald Trump, they are in for serious changes, it appears, as it begins. First thing, the US had instruments of funding, instruments of funding for various things all over the world. Maybe this suited their assumed world police situation, world police concept, whatever may be the reason. Or maybe that once money is given to people, they'll obey. Of course, naturally, they'll obey when money is given. That could have been all kinds of reasons you can think of it, but nonetheless, they had been funding. They gave a lot of money to Pakistan when the Afghan refugees had fled to Pakistan from Afghanistan during the changeover of democracy to Taliban. Conflict took place not very long back. And for the Afghan refugees, Pakistan was getting money from the United States. And in time, again the Taliban came for the second time, and the US stopped funding Pakistan. Of course, for these fund receiving nations, it becomes a source of money to obtain funds from US. In this pretext, with that pretext, this NGO, that NGO, all those people are making money, and America knowingly gives the money. They know this money is not going to any desired end. Probably they may not have any desired end, the use of this money, other than maintaining some kind of dominance, domination, etc., and buying acceptance. This, of course, I would call as buying acceptance, buying obedience. And the US stopped giving funds. Pakistan took the very drastic step of ousting all the Pathans of all the Afghanis. That became very bitter, and then now they are almost swords drawn to one another. Similarly, Bangladesh also had been receiving money from Pakistan. From the US. Pakistan, where they give money from the US. On various accounts, various pretexts, various stories. One is the Rohingya Muslims, and the Rakhine people, through Arakan Army, etc., had pushed a considerable Rohingya Muslims. Rohingya Muslims originally belongs to Bangladesh. They can't deny that. The language is Bangla mixed Assamese. It's a version of Bengali, I'll call. They originally from Bangladesh who had gone and settled in different places, especially in the Rakhine province. And they now they're pushing because their behavior is such that no one can keep them with you. You don't know about them. If you know about them, you'll understand better. Try to see some Rohingyans living. And Bangladesh was getting money for that. Whether they use the money for this purpose or not, it's a different question. See, in case of Pakistan, and also in case of Bangladesh, and maybe in case of many other nations, the money that they receive for all kinds of aid, fund, everything. America has an agency of providing aid, and many organizations like that, which is funded by the government. They receive this money and they don't spend it on the people. Nominally, they must spend something to sustain them, to bear minimum existent level, and they pocket the money. You look at Pakistan, they pocket the money, and you look at all the army leaders, most of them, and vast majority of them, I think, in fact, all of them, they make money. If they don't make money, they're fools in their society's eyes. They make money, and they buy lands abroad, make properties, and then in the event of the retirement, or sometimes mostly decent retirement, and if not indecent retirement, whatever, they run and become citizens in some other countries, which they already planned and adjusted and made ready. Their rulers also go. See, there's the story of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, who didn't get the opportunity to leave Pakistan. He was killed, hung, executed. Just imagine this kind of things that happens in the society of Pakistan. And it's appalling to a person from Bharat to see that your own people, Pakistan is not different people from us, they are same people with us. Only thing, they have changed themselves so drastically, they are going to this kind of inhuman existence, whereas Hindus are supposed to be extremely one with the nature, not with other human beings alone, one with the entire cosmos they live in the Vedic epistemology, the Upanishadic epistemology of coexistence of the multiple and plural, and look at the kind of changes that took place in the Pakistani society just by virtue of them losing their Sanskriti. It's a different question altogether, but then that's a fact that remains. The sooner they realize, better for them. So this kind of things happening. And look at Bangladesh. Now Bangladesh, again, money laundering business. Not laundering, they're obtaining money. Money laundering means making it clean, washed and white. Now this, of course, the money obtaining business in Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina must have done a part, I don't know. These are all narratives I hear from the social media. I've not seen anyone stealing money. And then other people also must have done the same thing. The Yunus person also must have done the same thing. And all this ultimately, eventually, depends on the American economy. And Donald Trump, is a nationalist, undoubtedly. That's one thing I like about him. He's a nationalist. He's for his nation. Maybe his interest or functioning towards his nation may be difficult on us, Bharat, or difficult in many other countries, but you can't blame him. In his place, I would have done not just like him, more than him. Yet stopped at the funding. Why should my people's money go to somebody else? That's a legitimate question, a sensible question the others should have asked long back. You wanted a Trump to come and ask this question to you. Why should my people's money be spent on these wasty, nasty things? If it's for charity, that's a different story. Someone is suffering, help him, that's a different story. We had been doing it and we'll do it, continue to do it. Even the Bangladeshis don't have food to eat, we send rice, in spite of their arrogance and violence upon us. That's a different question. That is how a human behaves. Being human, that's one thing. But what is this funding people? Agencies who just enjoys that money, takes it and goes, lives it comfortably, not comfortably, luxuriously. So this President Trump had done the very right and wise and appropriate decision of stopping these funds in 5 days of his presidency, which should have been done long back before by the US people. That meant that much money can go to them. Then another thing which is a step which we greatly appreciate is that I heard the stories, I don't know how true it is, but possible. People, pregnant women are taken to US, and when the child is born, they'll come back, so that he becomes an automatic citizen of US. This kind of things used to happen. Suppose you treat them as illegal migrants, then that child just will not get the citizenship. Otherwise, it's a trick they play on the US government. It's a trick people play. Take a pregnant woman there, when the child is born, the child is US citizen. That's a trick they play. Why should the US give into this kind of tricksters? Who is a fool here? Think. Now, there are illegal immigrants. This is a big problem in many places. We have a lot of illegal immigrants in our nation. The US has a lot of illegal immigrants in their nation. Illegal immigrants are illegal immigrants in capital letters, and if it is possible, get them ousted. He does the same thing. I would have done the same thing in the interest of my nation, because I love my nation, I respect my nation, I belong to my nation, and I am a nationalist. Whatever I do for my nation, let Trump is doing for this nation. But at times his activity may be difficult for my nation, but that's natural. I have to take that. Because he acts only in the interest of his nation, which I would do the same thing. He would not cross the border, I'm saying ideally, he would not cross the border to come and snatch the interest of my nation. That, of course, I would be finding it difficult to take, so I'll react. It's not that he comes and snatches our property and takes it. He doesn't do that. He's only protecting himself. He is only protecting his people. He is only making the funds available to his people more, which the others share. The illegal people are breathing the air of the states. I'm telling breathing the air, which means everything. Which would have been distributed among the other people, or which would have been made available to other people, other citizens, the normal legitimate citizens. This is a great thing. So the funding business is stopped. Illegal immigrants is catching. He is acting in the interest of his nation, fine. And these people, this fake, storied people like Bangladesh, Pakistan, etc., are on the receiving end. Now, what will happen to Bangladesh is very, you can't imagine. I'm just telling you, can't imagine. It's difficult to speculate. Things are very bad in Bangladesh. I had that they under diesel. Some photojournalists who traveled went to Dhaka, this is an agency, they went to Dhaka and visited, found that among the 510 patrols in Dhaka city, that's police patrolling, 250 is supposed to be exclusively night patrolling to keep the law and order intact in place. And these people could find only one checkpost out of the 200 or 100 plus checkposts in the city. Only one checkpost. Police were there. They had a jeep and they were sleeping inside the jeep. And when asked, they said, "No, we can't go. There's only one jeep with little diesel. They don't have diesel." So it means there is no law and order maintenance. It means anybody can do anything and get away. There is no record. Law and order, there's no maintenance. That means simply anarchy in capital letters. And in Bangladesh, that has been happening for a long time. It's anarchy. No law and order. People believe in hell, no? Any place becomes hell once it is anarchy. Hell is hell because there is no law and order. It's anarchy. That's a Bharatiya concept of hell. We otherwise don't have a hell like what the Europeans think. We think of a heaven where there's a perfect law and order and dharma, and hell is a place where there is adharma. That's a simple distinction we have. We don't really think these two places have ontological existence. They don't exist, we know very well. But we have these concepts to make these things clear. So situation is miserable. And why Pakistan is getting mostly ruled by army in all this place, and in spite of the so-called democracy, army is all authorities, because the society is indisciplined. To get some law and order in place, they need really army, not the police. Because lawlessness is to that extent. Pakistan should address it to themselves. Lawlessness, because there is no internal mechanism enabling them to be under dharma, under obedience. Nothing of that. So this is the situations. Things are on the surface level, something else deep level is something entirely different. We'll meet again with some other thoughts. Till then, Namaste, Jai Bharat and Jai Shri Ram.